We're recording. Okay, let me just... That and that. What's up, everybody? Mohan13 here. And, well, welcome back to part 2 of What If Deku Was Sonic. Now then, I'm also going to have to change a little bit, as I didn't choose exactly who I wanted everyone to be. But, current list goes Izuku Sonic, Katsuki Shadow, Kirishima Knuckles, Mina Rouge, Ochako Amy, Ida Tails, and Shoto. Shoto isn't Blaze. He just has chaos powers. Like, he just has chaos energy running through his body. No additional ability except that his fire and ice are way stronger. But with that, heartburn. Ooh, hurts. But, let's get on with this. So, we left off right before the first training exam. Which, well, everyone with All Might saying that he is here, with some of the people here, being surprised that All Might's in his Silver Age costume, which, also for, reference, yes, they know Kirishima, the main group. Kirishima is part of the main group. I just didn't think he'd be, I just didn't make him Knuckles yet. But, yeah, no, Kirishima's the Knuckles of this universe. Ida's Tails. But, yeah. So, with that, everyone, with All Might, they're telling everyone, costumes, stuff like that, the good old stuff. With everyone coming out, they have mostly the same stuff. The ones that really changed are the people that actually have extra powers here. Like, Ochako really doesn't change. Sure, she has super strength from her chaos energy and the ability to summon a literal magic hammer. That's about it. She does have the little golden rings on her, though. Basically, they're inspired from... as these are expired from Katsuki's inhibitor rings. Which she kind of just thought they were cool, even though she kind of thinks about, it kind of sucks for him having to wear these all the time. But at the same time, he is, like, nearly pure chaos energy, so makes sense. So, yeah. She has, just add Amy's normal rings on her. Alright, but, time to get to everyone else. Now then, for Izuku, his costume is about what it looks like in the season 4-ish, 5, except he also has Gran Torino's little cape on him. Along with him, obviously rocking the iconic Sonic shoes. And along with goggles, too. Now then, for Katsuki, he actually doesn't have the big gauntlets on him. Instead, he has, just little small grenades of his sweat that can ignite. That, along with the fact that his costume has more red and black. It's more reddish black. It less looks like a... basically, imagine someone wearing a kind of battle-fitted Shadow costume. So with that, along with the fact that since he does have, actual red markings on him, which they are showing his arms, so stuff like that, With everyone kind of wondering, no one here has kind of seen a quirk like something that will make Katsuki look like that. They obviously assume that it's because of that weird ray of energy that passed over the planet years ago, and that he got extra powers from it, obviously, but the only other person that even has markings that any of them have seen is Izuku. And that's just under his eyes. But they don't think about it too much. Now then, for Mina, it's really mostly the same. It's really mostly the same as her first costume. Just probably with probably with steel boots. Yeah. since, Rouge has, obviously Lex strength is what her main thing is, so probably, obviously, Rouge is really strong now that I think about it. Jesus. Oh, also, she does have open backs for, her wings and stuff. Just like the comps, She does have open backs for her wings. Oh, yeah. Either, I mean, it's really the same for him, too. Which, I mean, you're gonna see how Ida's how Ida actually has Tails' powers here. But yeah, it's mostly kind of the same for now, I'm not gonna lie. But with that, All Might gives up the teams and everything, And with that, things go swimmingly for some other teams. Like, i.e., whoever Mina or Kirishima went against, they win those rounds, obviously. I just can't remember as... Well, let's be honest, the really only important fight here was Izuku versus Katsuki. But there's one thing that they do notice is that Shoto definitely has chaos energy. They can feel it even radiating from his ice. That's mixed in with lots of chaos energy. Meaning that while he didn't get any extra powers, they did boost his up to extreme potential. And, with that, we finally get to the main event, obviously. But Izuku versus Katsuki. Now then, these three have known each other for years and knows how they fight. But the only outlier being is Ida. But with that, Ochako says she'll handle the match. Says that she'll handle Ida. She knows that Izuku is probably going to want to fight Katsuki. And with that, she goes off to fight Ida with Katsuki actively walking down and letting her pass him. As, he and Izuku have a fight to get to. As he wants to see just how much One For All can boost Izuku. And with that, he finally stands in front of Izuku. With Izuku activating, his power and One For All. With everyone thinking that, he was one of the people that had a quirk that got extra power, too. With this, the two rush each other, becoming a blue and yellowish blur, almost immediately clashing into each other. Basically, bursting around the walls, with Katsuki shooting at an explosion that basically takes out a chunk of the building. With Izuku dodging via a spin dash before immediately shooting Katsuki down into a couple of fours with another one. With this, the two start clashing more as eventually they back off and run at each other. Izuku charging One For All, and Katsuki just charging his hand with an explosion before clashing and blowing up a major part of the building. With some of the less stronger ones in Class A, I'm wondering, damn, they're strong, basically. Now then, while that's happening, we get to Ida and Ochako, with her pulling her Pico hammer out. She, because of her quirk, her Pico hammer has a little special ability here. I.e., she comes across Ida and, doesn't really try to sneak him, as, she could definitely overpower him. That's straight up in. With her saying hi to Ida before slamming her Pico on the ground, while also breaking up some rubble. It also makes it float. Chocolate thinks to herself that she loves the fact that her Pico hammer has 0 anti-gravity with it, and she can choose whether or not to turn it on when hitting something. This also gives her the extra effect of being able to swing her hammer back and shoot it out spikes. Or more, she calls it her bullet rain. She calls it, her anti-gravity bullet rain move. As, she swings her hammer and all of the spikes, rocks, fly. Ida realizing this, he jumps up to the air as 2 things of energy start surrounding him before eventually forming tails and leading him to be able to fly up before he activates his engines, basically giving him an extra power boost before slinking down, coming with a kick. With Ochako blocking with her hammer before just straight up punching Ida, sending him back a bit, more like into a wall, but, with him coming out, with him saying that she's really strong, as, well, that's him. Again, this is when they feel an explosion happen downstairs. Then another one that actually blows off a good chunk of the building. As something ends up coming up and, whacking Ida, sending him flying back. It being Izuku, with Katsuki teleporting up there, but being too late to stop Izuku from touching the bomb. And with that, the hero team wins, with Katsuki giving Izuku his congratulations. Giving Izuku his congratulations on winning, stuff like that. All friendly and stuff. They're basically brothers. So, just all fun and games. And with this, they all start to basically walk home, stuff like that. Which one day it does open up, not at school, but Izuku looking at Chaos Emeralds. Mainly the 4 they've collected over the years. Just looking at his room as Toshinori comes in, asking Izuku what's up. With him basically saying that he's kind of wondering, what are he... Like, he knows he read books on these about how they're infinite in power, and that Katsuki's grandfather used these to, experiment on him and make him into what he is now, but still, while looking at these, he wonders just exactly what's their extent. What happens when someone collects all 7? Basically just asking questions about the Chaos Emeralds. He's been writing about them in his notebooks for years, about what they can do. Hell, the fact that him and Katsuki can both use Chaos Control to stop time, and for whatever reason, Ejiro is able to, can use their power. Hell, they can heal. All this amazing stuff they can do. All 7 gave extra powers to everyone on the planet. And he's kind of slightly afraid of what would happen if all 7 are collected. What would happen? Would a reverse effect happen? Would a new effect causing out more chaos power to go around the world happen? He just really doesn't know. Which leads to him being confused. With Toshinori telling him, his stepson, son, that he doesn't know what the future has in hold. And that the best thing Izuku can do is just hope out for the best, as they don't really know about these things. Izuku takes that for an answer before lifting him up and putting them back into the little pocket space they rest in after they're collected. Which a little tad note, the way that I assume they are able to just pop the Chaos Emeralds out of nowhere, is that after they grab them, they can, they basically put it into, the Chaos Emeralds being able to bend time and space, put themselves in a little pocket, like a little MySpace pocket, or an inventory pocket where they're able to, boom, they're here. Stuff like that. That's the way I see how they're able to just make the Chaos Emeralds pop out of nowhere after collecting them. So, yeah. With that, so they're back in their little space pocket, which Zuko does where the last two emeralds. As, if you're wondering where the 5th emerald is, Katsuki has it. Basically, it always allows them to use chaos. Will always allow him to use chaos control and stuff like that. Which, he kind of wonder why Katsuki didn't, but to think that he's just being fair in the fight. And with this, Zuko will also kind of just watch out, and with this, I say that Zuko will probably just watch All Might go around kicking the shit out of criminals for a little bit, eating chili dogs, knowing that he probably couldn't help, but still wanting to watch anyway, just normal stuff, With this, Zuko finally gets to school a little bit early, meeting up with everyone, USJ, the bus, basically them talking about themselves. With Katsuki staying kind of silent for a little bit, for the most of it, until they get to, USJ, with one of the students say Kaminari asking where All Might is. With 13 saying that he's running a little late while holding up 3 with Aizawa. Although the ones that actually know who Toshinori is know that means that he's just used all 3 hours up. Which then, things happen like normally in Canyon. The portal opened up. Some of them thinking that they're mock villains, with Izuku quickly correcting them that they're not. With that, they show themselves to the League of Villains, yada, 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 all that stuff. Although there's something that Ijiro or Kirishima sent. Knuckles, his hero name is Knuckles in this timeline, so something that Knuckles notices with him telling Izuku that they have the 2 last Chaos Emeralds on them. But him able to sense it as... Well, his senses go to somewhere else for a quick moment before momentarily coming back to wondering what that was, but nonetheless. This is when a floating mobile comes out of it, with the man presents himself as Ivo Robotnik, with Katsuki actually being shocked for a bit. Well, mainly with everyone that's known him for a couple of years, at this point being shocked for a bit, as Katsuki knows that Robotnik is his mother's maiden name. Which his mother did always say that she had a brother but lost contact with him. With Katsuki looking at him and telling Izuku that he'll deal with this. Before rushing and basically kicking Eggman away. This is when Kurogiri starts separating them up. With him separating Katsuki and Robotnik together, as Robotnik wants to get a chance to talk with his nephew. With him asking him just how his mother has been. With him also asking why would he turn to villainy. With Robotnik saying some reason and telling him to why not join him. Together they could rule the world as nephew and uncle. With Katsuki saying that he's fine with that. He plans to be the number 1 hero. And that's not what Maria would want. With Robotnik smiling, telling him that he's been laughing his usual laugh, saying that he's been keeping tabs on Maria, and his mother, along with that blue and green haired brat. Basically telling him also to hand over the Chaos Emeralds, as well, he has a plan for them. Obviously, he says no, which leads to a slight fight. Now then, if you're wondering where Izuku is, he's still at where he was normally. Except Izuku's basically able to kind of smack around. Basically using his homing attacks to smack around before getting out of the water and starting to run around it. Before getting on the boat to see Mineta as Suyu comes up. Izuku then finger flicks the water and then gets them out of there. And the moment that he sees Aizawa being bitched by the Nomu, he smacks it off of him, sending it flying back a bit, with him telling Suyu and Mineta and Suyu to, get Aizawa's and stay out of here. As his electricity sparks up, asking them what are they doing here. And thus, this leads to a fight. Kill All Might, stuff like that. And thus, this leads to Izuku fighting the Nomu. Which, he runs to it and, pulls off a full 100% smash. Which basically decimates it, kinda. But something that Izuku notices is that it's completely fine. With Izuku asking what the hell was... with Shigaraki telling him exactly everything that it can do. All the shock absorption. With Izuku realizing this, he starts to crank up his power to about whatever he can muster, basically coming in slightly with electricity pooling on him, which, with this, he starts basically rushing around the USJ, going from one place to another, basically bashing the Nomu. He's on the ceiling, he's on the rock walls, boom, basically hitting him like a ping pong. With Izuku doing this constantly, overwhelming Nomu with his speed and strength, basically bashing at every side and every way, before Izuku ends up pulling back and using a spin dash to directly, while also using about as much power in his legs as possible, to take off the Nomu's head, killing it. As Izuku knows this thing isn't human, and so no problems. With him landing tired, but saying that's how it is to go beyond plus ultra, with Sugar asking, what's that mean? With Izuku, telling him to go beyond. With Shigaraki, that's saying stupid. That sounds stupid. Izuku responding that it sounds cool, yeah. Along with calling him a hand fetish freak. And with this, though, they kind of have to retreat as Izuku's starting to lose his conscience a bit. As well, he's really, really tired. And with that, just as All Might gets there, the villains are gone. With him catching Izuku before he can pass out, and telling the boy that he did good. Which Katsuki then walks up to him, telling him that that we have to have a talk with his mom and stuff like that. After a hospital visit and heading to the Bakugo's household, Toshi, Izuku, and Katsuki and Mina Chako all basically ask what's up. With her, Mitsuki explaining her relationship with her brother, how Katsuki's grandfather was mostly neglectful, and it led to him being the one that basically watch over and raise her. With her thinking that they lost contact after Maria died. Although to know that he's been keeping tabs on them, she starts to look around the place, but not being able to find anything. As, unbeknownst to them, a small little robot is outside watching. And, it's scanning data, mainly Izuku's and Katsuki's, before flying off and coming back to Eggman, who, obviously escaped his nephew. With this, a day later, sports festival, stuff like that. With them getting ready to train, while Katsuki starts to feel weird sometimes, this weird feeling eventually leads to culminating as he can feel a black ooze come through his arm as he shoots out 5 spears of whatever this stuff is. Yes, if you played Sonic and Shadow Generations, yes, Katsuki's Doom powers are starting to finally show up. So yeah. With that, this gets to the sports exams. Now then, for the first one, the race. Look, I'm going to be honest, this is more so down to Izuku and Katsuki, which, as we know, Sonic is faster, so, yeah, that. Now then, the whole cavalry battle thing. I'll say that go mostly normal. I don't really know. I would say the cavalry battle would go, mostly normal for all of them. And, now we finally get to the main fighting event, But with that, I'm going to have to cut this part. As the next part's going to go over the entirety of the sports festival and some of the, Hosu City incident. I don't know why it just wouldn't come out, it was stuck. I'm just going to end this one.